These are various hook styles. This hook is used for your basic stitch. The knob on the end is for catching loops from falling off your hook. This is a double-ended hook used for working stitches in both directions. If you use this for regular stitching, be sure to watch the other end because the loops will fall off. They just come in different sizes. This one is similar to a regular crochet hook. However, it does have this wire tail, and which is used for collecting additional loops if you want to make your project longer. These are just basically some of the styles of Tunisian crochet hooks that are available that you can use. To begin, you're going to create a slip knot and attach it to your hook. Start by chaining the number of length that you want your project to be. Make it any length that you want. That's completely up to you. Be careful of loose stitching like this, but it will work out in the end. You won't hardly notice it. Start by inserting your hook into the first chain. Pull up a loop. Insert your hook into the next chain. Pull up a loop. Third chain. Pull up a loop. And continue on to the end of the chain. At this point, you're going to have the same number of loops on your hook as you do chain stitches. Now to pull off, to cast off, you're going to first wrap your yarn around and pull through the first loop. Wrap your yarn around again and pull through the next two loops. Continue this, pulling through the next two loops until you reach the end of your chain. First row of Tunisian crochet. For your second row, you're just going to go through the vertical bars. Insert your hook through the first vertical bar. Pull up a loop. The second, pull up a loop. The third, vertical bar, pull up a loop. Continue this on until you reach the end of the row. still have the same number of loops as you do in your chain. To repeat the cast off process, you're going to pull through the first loop, and then you're going to pull the yarn through the next 2 loops, and continue the next 2 loops all the way to the end of the row, just as you did previously. Repeat that. On the next row, you will go through the next vertical bar, pull up a loop, the next vertical bar, and pull up a loop. You will continue doing this till the end of the row, just as you previously did. And remember, you will still always have the same number of loops on your hook as you did your original chain. Now you will cast off again, pull through the first loop, then you will pull through the next 2, 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 and so on until you reach the end of the row. And that's how you will do your basic Tunisian crochet stitch. You'll cast on your loops, you'll cast them off. This is what your pattern will look like. Now for using the double-ended hook, create your chain of however long you'd like. Work the stitches just like you did casting on for your simple Tunisian stitch. Pick up some loops, 5, 10, however many you feel comfortable. But if your project is 100 stitches long, do it 10 at a time. It makes it so much easier. So in this process, we're going to work the stitches from both sides of the hook. So now, once you've gotten however many stitches are going to work out of your chain, you're going to add on your additional skein of yarn, or a different color, whichever you choose. Use a slip or slip knot. You're going to attach it to the other side of the hook. Pull your yarn through the first hook, pull it through the next 2, pull it through the next 2, pull it through the next 2, until you reach the end of those stitches. Use your hook to adjust your stitch tension. And once you've reached your end of those stitches, you will push the yarn to the other end and work with your beginning strand of yarn and start casting loops as you did before. So you cast on another 10 stitches of that chain. Now you put your loops back to the other end of the hook, pick up your previous skein of yarn, and start working the stitches off. This is how you continue on to make a much larger project. This method is much easier when working larger projects. Continue that back and forth until you reach the end of the row, and then you continue it on the next row. Now we will be working this in the rounds. Use your double-ended crochet hook. You're going to make your chain, your whatever length you want it to make. You're going to join the chain with a slip stitch. And then you're going to cast on your loops. You're going to cast on so many loops, like 5, maybe 10, depending on the size of your loop. Then you will add on your other strand of yarn. Turn the hook over. You're going to pull that strand through the first loop. So you're going to cast off these stitches. Then you're going to pull off 2. Then you're going to pull through 2. Until you have 2 stitches. Then you'll just push your work back to the other side of the hook and begin working your skein of yarn through the rest of the chain around. Continue that around